Okay, so now we have to test your smart contract. To test your smart contract, we need to interact with the functions. So in this contract is already having an address here, which is in the part of your block number 2. So block number 2, which is having an address of 0x48 0x484. Okay, so it means the same address. Before I interact with the contract, I make sure, double check on this, whether I am interacting with the right contract or not. So I'm carefully double checking on this. In your network, you may be having 10 contracts, but you may be interacting with the right contract when you want to execute some of the functionality in the network, right? So for that reason only, I'll double check on the address. Okay, so this is 0x484, this is 484. Yes, this is the contract I want to interact. And now what this contract contains. So contract contains your active number function, divide by number, multiply by number, subtract by number, and get result. Okay, so let's understand these functions in detail. So what is this get result function? So this get result is a function within your contract. Now go inside your contract code, understand what is this get result function. We see here how many functions we have: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in this contract also we should be having 5 functions. So what are the functions we have? Get result is a function, add to a number is a function. It means any function is having a keyword called function keyword. 1, 2, 3, subtract to a number is another function, multiply it by number is another function, 4 and 5. So these functions are matching to what are the contract we deployed. So this is a high level language which user can understand it. So that contract we deployed in the network in the form of a bytecode, and we are reading the contract from your network, and we are reading all the functions which is matching to our contract which we have written. So this is the high level language. The same logic, whatever you want to understand about, for get result, what we want to understand is, okay, how your get function is written and what it is trying to do in the code. Let's understand that. So if you go inside the get result function, what it is doing is it is having only one line code. What is the line code here is return result. What is this result? We have result is a global variable here. You see here in the line number 5, you have defined what is the result variable, but we don't know what it is trying to return. So we know, like, there is a return function. It is this get result. It is returning the value as result. Result is basically a integer number, right? Integer is a integer is one of the data type. Okay, so return result is a value which is nothing but your integer data type. So in simple words, get result is, in simple words, it is trying to return the result value. We don't know what is the result value. So let's try to understand what it is trying to do. You click on get result. You click on get result, you see what is the value it returns? It returns value called 10. When you click on the get result, it is going to return a value 10. So where it is reading that value? So I told you, get result, it is just returning the value of result. So but from where it is reading this result value? So it is connecting to this contract. It is connecting to this contract address in the Ganache network, and the contract is running in the Ganache network. It is trying to connect to that again, and it is reading the value from the Ganache network. Okay, it is trying to read the value of your result value which is there in the Ganache network. So right now the result value is 10. How it is initialized to 10? Let's understand that. If you see here, there is another function called constructor function. Okay, constructor is basically the first function which will be executed within your contract. So very first function which will be executed within your contract. So you see here the calculator is a contract. You see there is a contract keyword. So this contract keyword, what does it specify is, when you are any smart contract, the first line which you're going to write when you're writing your smart contract, it starts with a keyword called contract. The name of the contract is next to that contract keyword. So in this case, the name of the contract is calculator. So the contract is a calculator contract you're writing. For example, if you want to write a calculator contract for a real estate, so you should be having a name like this. So it means there is a contract. The contract name is real estate. Okay, so that is the main intent. Now you see this is a function called constructor function, right? In the 7th line you have the, so if you observe, the constructor function and the contract name both are same. I told the name after your contract keyword, which we call as a contract name. The contract name and a constructor name will have the same name, right? So it means your, how to identify your constructor in a contract is it should be having the same name as contract name. So if you have the same name, then it is, we understand this is a constructor function. So in the constructor function, you initialize the value result is equal to 10. You see here result is equal to 10. It means there is a global variable which you initialized at line number 5, that is initialized. Initialized means you given some value. Initially you haven't given any value here, which is default value 0. So initially result will be given as 0, but when you're going inside the constructor function at line number 9, you're initializing that value to 10. Okay, got it so far? So what we are trying to do is, I'm just repeating it quickly. You have given a contract name as calculator, and the constructor you are initializing the value to 10. So the next question is, when this constructor function will be initialized? So I'm just trying to click on the get result. I'm getting the value as 10, but when this function is called, how this get result value is becoming 10 here? Because if it is becoming 10, when I click on the get result function, I'm returning this value. So I'm returning return result means result value is initialized to 10 somewhere. So that is the reason I'm getting the result as 10. Right? Now the next question is, at what point in time this constructor function is called? Okay, so let me explain that concept. Okay, so when you design your UI and you compile your code here, when you're deploying it, when you do a deploy, when you click on deploy, exactly in this situation, when you deploy it, it will be deploying into the Ganache, right? When it is deploying and the smart contract will be deployed in this network, you will be having an address, right? When you click on the deploy, immediately it will call your constructor function within your contract. Okay, so your constructor function, you're going to create an address, right? When you create an address of your contract, immediately when the address is created in the contract, the first function within the contract call is your constructor. Okay, it is going to construct your initial state of your contract. When the address is generated, immediately it will call your constructor function, and after that this address will be given to here. Here you have the contract address. Understand? So your contract, the first function by default, when you click on the deploy, it will deploy your contract address in the network, and immediately it will call your constructor function. So immediately when it call your constructor function, then your state of your result value, in this case the result is initially your value, or giving the result value as the result value which is stored is equal to 10. This is all in the binary format. All the data which is there, application is there in the binary format. Now contract address, got it, we got the contract address. From the contract address, you have the function one. In this case, we have the get result function. So I'm just putting it as get r. Get r is nothing but get result function. So when you click on the get result function, what it is trying to do is it is going here again, and in this contract address, what is the function you have? Function one, you assume that is a get result. It is reading that value of your 10 value, and it is giving into your user interface. Okay, that's what we are trying to do it here. So the constructor function will be called immediately when your address will be generated in the Ganache network, and it will be initialized in the network, and you are going to get the get result. Now the next function is add to a number. Add to a number, what we are trying to do, see here. So add to a number, you see there is an argument, a number is given, and this number, whatever you have given as an input, that number, it is adding to the result value. You see this, there is an adding to the result value, line number 19, and you are returning the value as result. So this result will be updated by giving the new value of, for example, let's give the input value as 100. I'm giving a new input value as 100 to add to a number, and you need to click the mouse click, add to a number, click on that. So add to a number function is executed in a blockchain network. So if it is executed or not, let me go through that. Okay, I see there is a function block, another block is created. I see there is a contract call. Contract call is nothing but I executed some function. It doesn't tell us like what type of function I have executed it. Okay, it'll say that there is one function is executed. So until I know from user interface what function I executed. Now, what is the next result? Whether to test whether the add to number is executed or not, click on the get result. Now, get result, it returns the value as 110. So it means your add to a number function is executed in a blockchain network. So whether it is executed or not, I'm just clicking on the get result function to check the status whether the result value is updated in a blockchain network or not. So for a subtract to number, I want to subtract, for example, 50. So right now, what is the result value contains? It contains 110, right? It contains the get result, which contains your 110. Now, click on to the 50. So now 50 was subtracted from this 110. So now obviously the result should be, when you click on the get result, it should return the value as, okay, I think double clicked on this. So I think 2 times it was subtracted. So that is the reason. If you see here how many times it was subtracted, you can check on here. 2 times I subtracted here. So that is the reason it is giving the result as 10. Otherwise, again call this value as add to a number. So now click on the get result, which is 110, and I click on the subtract only once this time. So now I click on the result, it should give the value as 60. Okay, so this is how you can execute your functions within your contract. So finally, we are using only one variable like result, and we are controlling within your contract. So this result will be used across all these functions to track your contract state. Okay, so this is the explanation on the smart contract. It's a simple smart contract which we have executed, so we can make it is very complex. So complex means you can create some 10 variables. So right now the result variable is 1, maybe you'll have some 100 variables here. So maybe you have result 1, result 3, result 5, result 100. So you'll be having a multiple result values which will be we can make your contract complex.